Hello friends, it is Monday the 17th of June 2019. Welcome back to A Garden Named Bill. Well, this is the 11th week of garden tours this year, and I gotta say this is one of my favorite weeks when I'm in this corner because you get such a neat shot of my house and the arched trellis and the annuals in the back and just everything else, so kind of a good way to start. I have a goal this week. I'm going to try to edit this video to 6 minutes or less, so watch the whole thing. I want to see what it does to my YouTube analytics, okay? I won't drag on, I promise. So let's begin with an overview shot. It has been a ridiculously cool and wet year for us. This time last year, my corn and tomatoes and stuff were 3 times as big as they are right now, but that's just how some things go. But my cold weather crops, pretty much everything else, is doing really, really great. You can see the white flowers on the peas over there. They're about 5.5 feet tall. My gooseberries I'm going to harvest next week once I get back from a little bit of travel, and by the end of this month the raspberries are totally going to be here. New this week, after I had harvested both of the blue barrels from spinach like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, I decided to reseed the barrels and the spot over there where I did my spinach. In this particular barrel, I decided to put radishes, and as you can see, they are already coming out because radishes just germinate so quickly. I also made a point to finally get my sweet potato slips in before the rain started. So I'm doing some modified hillages this year. Essentially they're in their own dome instead of a hillage that goes all the way around. We'll see how that does. Trying something new this year. Not exactly growing it in the wood chips, but that's new. So this coming week, there's really only 2 things that I want to do in the garden. I've got a couple of thistles by the fence that I need to harvest, same spot as they were last time. They just, come up, especially after the rain, but only in that one area. It'll honestly take me 20 minutes. And then I think the gooseberries are pretty much coming to an end. They are all about this size, and I think I'm going to harvest a lot of them and see about freezing them. I got some buddies who want to use them for cider, and some of them who want to make syrup out of them for other mixed drinks. And I'm going to use them in pies and jams and stuff throughout the season. So if I don't harvest them this week, I will for sure do it next week. I want to get them done before I harvest the first wave of raspberries the first week of July. Well, this chunk of the yard is probably the biggest disappointment in the garden. This time last year, the corn would have been about up to here because we had so much heat and humidity, days in the 80s and stuff. Lots of sun. These kind of crops really loved it. Not so much this year, so these are small. The sunflowers are kind of stinted. My herbs are doing just fine. This zucchini is a monster, really loving how that's growing. And like I already mentioned, I reseeded these barrels and the radishes in there have already germinated. Asparagus is doing just fine. I've got these fronds that are coming up all over. I planted 10 in 2 rows, so 20 total, and I am seeing 16 individual plants so far coming up. Over here, again, tomatoes and peppers, they need hot weather. We just haven't gotten it, but still I'm getting blossoms for flowers on both the peppers and the tomatoes. The tomatoes I have been pruning because I'm single stemming them to the best of my abilities, and it's actually done really, really well. This whole chunk here overall is doing great. The carrots are nice and tall. It'll be a while until I harvest them still. The beets behind me are both looking good. Again, I got a while to wait. Here where I harvested the radishes, I reseeded spinach. The onions are getting their shallots at the top. I've been harvesting from that end going in this direction when I've been cooking. And the cauliflower is looking great, and the potatoes just continue to climb up. The peas here are pretty spectacular. As you can see, there's these little white flowers all around, and I've got maybe 3 or 4. I should probably leave this another day, but I just pulled it off. You can see this is the time when they are, come on, focus, focus, focus. Well, this is the time when they are ready to be harvested for the next 2, maybe even 3 weeks. If I keep pulling them off, new buds will form and they will just, go crazy. I've planted more than I ever have before, so hopefully I get a huge harvest. And these are delicious. Just listen. I hope you picked up that crunch. We love these sugar snap peas just raw off the vine. So good. Well, really, that's it. The month of June has been kind of disappointing because of the lack of heat. We have had nice cool weather and soft rains, so great for moisture retention, and good for me because I like wearing these light sweaters, even if it is just a couple days from the first day of summer. But it has been kind of detrimental for huge explosive growth in the garden. So if and when the weather starts to kick up into the upper 70s and 80s and beyond with lots of sun, I imagine July and August this garden is just going to go kaboom, and we're going to have late harvest this year, but still it'll look really, really cool. And even though I said I'm disappointed, I am very satisfied with my cold weather crops, having already harvested radishes and spinach and things like that, and now the snap peas. So everything that isn't a super heat crop is doing wonderfully because of the systems that we have in place. So, how are things going in your garden? I always like to hear about it. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I will catch you again next week. Happy growing, guys. Bye-bye.